Lunchtime's my favorite part. Hopefully, I think everything's working. Yeah, it is lunchtime here. I just got done my lunch. Lunchtime, I was just telling my wife yesterday, lunchtime's always been my favorite part, whether it was school, work. Um, that's why I try to make sure to pack my kids a good lunch, because I know how exciting it is in the morning to you're working all morning and stuff, or playing, or at school. And you're like, I got that I got that good sandwich in my lunch this today, or that good snack. So it makes it you look forward to lunch. I always look forward to food. So yeah, I thought I'd just do a quick live stream here on my lunch break. We'll read John chapter 11. I didn't read it all yet. I just thought we might as well. Yeah, why not? It's kind of one of the things. Why not? I'm making out okay on the truck. Just I'm trying to hustle on it. I just don't have too much time today because we have men's Bible study. If you guys are local, like if you guys are in Lancaster or you live near Lancaster, PA, just a couple of us meet together like every Wednesday night, um, from 7 to 9. Every Wednesday night we meet up. Maybe eventually we could. I don't know if they have Wi-Fi there or not. It might be kind of hard to stream. But every Wednesday night, just a few of us guys, meet up and just. Right now, we're gonna start reading Ephesians 1, and we'll usually do a chapter or two every night, and just spend a couple hours in that chapter, and just talk about it. But here I do I do like to go a little deeper into like study. It's just I have to prepare a little bit better. I haven't set aside time in these Bible readings to prepare and to read everything, because it's hard. It's hard when you're just talking to the camera. There's no one talking back. There's no one asking questions like face to face, or you don't have that dialogue as far as like a study. So I figured we just read. So let's get started. John chapter 11. Hopefully that I'm in my like entrance here. Hopefully it's not too noisy in here or too echoey. Yep, might as well say a quick word of prayer. Lord, thank you for this day so far. Everything's going amazing. Just thank you for a good lunch. And I pray that you will speak to us as we start reading your word here on our lunch break. Just pray that you would help guide us throughout the rest of this day. In your name we pray. Amen. All right. Now someone could come in the door. The door's right there. Someone might walk in. Should we lock should we lock the door? Sometimes I lock the door because if someone's gonna walk in, as soon as I start reading, someone will walk in. Let me just peek quick. Alright, I think we're okay. John chapter 11. Let me spit out these mints. It's gonna be annoying. I'm addicted to mints. Used to, yeah. Chapter 11. Now a certain man was ill, Lazarus of Bethany, the village of Mary and her sister Martha. It was Mary who anointed the Lord with ointment and wiped his feet with her hair, whose brother Lazarus was ill. So the sisters sent to him, saying, Lord, he whom you love is ill. But when Jesus heard it, he said, This illness does not lead to death. It is for the glory of God, so that the Son of God may be glorified through it. Now Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. So when he heard that Lazarus was ill, he stayed 2 days longer in the place where he was. Then after this he said to the disciples, Let us go to Judea again. The disciples said to him, Rabbi, the Jews were just now seeking to stone you, and you're going to go there again? Jesus answered, Are there not 12 hours in the day? If anyone walks in the day, he does not stumble, because he sees the light of this world. But if anyone walks in the night, he stumbles, because the light is not in him. After saying these things, he said to them, Our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep, but I go to awaken him. The disciples said to him, Lord, if he has fallen asleep, he will recover. Now Jesus had spoken of his death, but they thought that meant taking rest and sleep. Then Jesus told them plainly, Lazarus has died, and for your sake I am glad that I was not there, so that you may believe. But let us go to him. So Thomas called the twin, said to the fellow disciples, Let us go. Let us also go, that we may die with him. 16. I just want to read it says, verse 16, it says, let us go that we may die with him. I just want to read what that means. Let's go die with him. I'm just going to read the notes here. It says, Thomas's words reflect loyal devotion and at the same time pessimism over the fact that they would probably all die. His fears were not unrealistic in the face of bitter hostility toward Jesus, and had not the Lord protected them in the garden, they may also have been arrested and executed. Oh, so like literally die. Let us go back. Let us go back to Judea, basically, and die. So there is a chance that they could have died. Verse 17. Now when Jesus came, he found that Lazarus had already been in the tomb for 4 days. Bethany was near Jerusalem, about 2 miles off. And many of the Jews had come to Martha and Mary to console them concerning their brother. So when Martha heard that Jesus was coming, she went and met him, but Mary remained seated in the house. Martha said to Jesus, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But even now I know that whatever you ask from God, God will give you. Jesus said to her, Your brother will rise again. Martha said to him, I know that he will rise again in the resurrection on the last day. Jesus said to her, I am the resurrection and the life. Whoever believes in me, though he die, yet shall he live. And everyone who lives and believes in me shall never die. Do you believe this? She said to him, Yes, Lord, I believe that you are the Christ, the Son of God, who is coming into the world. When she had said this, she went and called her sister Mary, saying in private, The teacher is here, and he is calling for you. And when she heard it, she rose quickly and went to him. Now Jesus had not yet come into the village, but was still in the place where Martha had met him. When the Jews were there, when the Jews who were with her in the house consoling her saw Mary rise quickly and go out, they followed her, supposing that she was going to the tomb to weep there. Verse 32. Now when Mary came to where Jesus was and saw him, she fell at his feet, saying, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. When Jesus saw her weeping, and the Jews who had come with her also weeping, he was deeply moved in his spirit, and greatly troubled. And he said, Where have you laid him? They said to him, Lord, come and see. Jesus wept. So the Jews said, See how we loved him? But some of them said, Could not he who opened the eyes of a blind man also have kept this man from dying? Then Jesus, deeply moved again, came to the tomb. It was a cave, and a stone lay against it. Jesus said, Take away the stone, Martha, the sister of the dead man, said to him, Lord, by this time there will be an odor, for he has been dead for 4 days. Jesus said to her, Do I not tell you that if you believed, you would see the glory of God? So they took away the stone, and Jesus lifted up his eyes and said, Father, I thank you that you have heard me. I knew that you always hear me, but I said this on an account of the people standing around, that they may believe that you sent me. When he had said these things, he cried out with a loud voice, Lazarus, come out! The man who had died came out, his hands and feet bound with linen strips, and his face wrapped with a cloth. Jesus said to them, "Unbind him and let him go." Verse 45. Many of the Jews, therefore, who had come with Mary and had seen that what he did, believed in him. I'm sure they did. But some of them went to the Pharisees and told them what Jesus had done. So the chief priests and Pharisees gathered the council and said, "What are we to do? This man performs many signs. If we let him go on like this, everyone will believe in him, and the Romans will come and take away both our place and our nation." But one of them, I don't know this name, one of them, Caiaphas, I don't know how to say that, who was a high priest that year, said to them, "You know nothing at all, nor do you understand that it is better for you that one man should die for the people, not that the whole nation should perish." He did not say this of his own accord, but being high priest that year, he prophesied that Jesus would die for the nation, and not for the nation only, but also to gather into one the children of God who are scattered abroad. So from that day on, they made plans to put him to death. Wow. Verse 53. So from that day on, they made plans to put him to death. Jesus, therefore, no longer walked openly among the Jews, but went from there to the region near the wilderness, to a town called Ephraim, and there he stayed with his disciples. Now the Passover of the Jews was at hand, and many went up from the country to Jerusalem before the Passover to purify themselves. They were looking for Jesus and saying to one another as they stood in the temple, "What do you think? That he will not come to the feast at all?" Now the chief priests and Pharisees had given orders that if anyone knew where he was, he would let them know, so that they might arrest him. So yeah, it's Jesus brought Lazarus back from the grave. That was I'm guessing that I think this is the first time someone was brought back from the grave. I think. Like Jesus wasn't the first one to rise up from the grave. Obviously it's Jesus, but he brought Lazarus back from the grave. I don't. Um, I mean, if you would imagine witnessing that today, what would you think? I don't. You witness that today. I don't. Phew, I'm sure a lot of people would say, "What is this? Is this some kind of demon thing, or like some kind of evil spirit that's raising people from the dead?" Um, that, or it's just fake, like a fake video, or it's not real. Not many people would believe, but some people believed that seen this. Hmm. And he didn't even go there right away. Like he knew that his friend. It says here, like somehow he got word that this man, his friend, was dying. Um, so when he heard that Lazarus was ill, he stayed 2 days longer in the place where he was. Like he stayed there 2 longer days, like away from Lazarus. Like he could have went immediately, and Jesus could have even like healed him from where he was. Like he could have just made Lazarus live. He could have performed them. We've seen Jesus perform miracles, and he's not even in front of the person. He's like he heals someone that's like in a whole nother town. Um, Someone comes to him, says, "Hey, my son's sick. Can you heal him?" And the son's healed, and the son's not even anywhere to be found. It's in some other town. So Jesus could have healed Lazarus from any place, but for some reason I'm sure there's a reason behind this. That he stayed a couple extra days. Stayed a couple extra days when he heard Lazarus was ill. Wonder if it has any notes here. It says here, the decision to delay coming did not bring about Lazarus' death. since Jesus already supernaturally knew his plight. Most likely, by the time the messenger arrived to inform Jesus, Lazarus was already dead. Oh. The delay was because he loved the family, and that love would be clear as a great strength. And oh, okay, this is start. Okay, that makes sense. He loved his family so much, and that love would be clear as he greatly strengthened their faith by raising Lazarus from the dead. The delay also made certain that no one would wrongly think Lazarus' resurrection was merely a uh, resuscitation, since he had been dead for so long. Hmm, that makes sense. Hmm. All right. Well, I think I'm gonna end it there. I think tomorrow morning we'll read chapter 12. But yeah, if you're local, if any of you are local and want to come to our men's Bible study, it's every Wednesday night from 7 to 9. Just give me a call. If you can't find my number, just Google Pristine Auto Detailing, Lancaster, PA. That's my cell phone number. Just give me a call or shoot me a text if you want to come, and I'll send you the address. Um, but yeah, guys, I'm gonna get back to work. Thanks for joining me here for lunchtime, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. See ya. Now all this stuff's popping up. I don't know how to sign out every time.